Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to a fine Thursday here in Central Georgia and Award Travel 101 Live. I'm your founder, Richard Kerr, and it's that time again to spend 20 minutes sharing a little bit of knowledge that's going to save you and your family a lot of cash for your next travels. A really great topic tonight. A lot going on in this topic, whether you believe it or not. Pooling airline miles without paying a fee. Hey, I've got my moderator, Tony, in the background working hard as always. She's going to make sure that I catch all of your questions. You're going to see me look off to the side. I have my notes and live chat I've got going with her from time to time, so please ask questions all the time, and I'm not going to miss it. Paul says, should be above pool or underground pool miles. That's funny, Paul, but looks aren't everything, man. I'll tell you what. Hey, everybody make sure that you can hear and see me fine. Tony's saying my microphone's a little bit close. I'm going to pull up my notes. A lot going on in the group. I say that every single week, but that's because there's always a lot more going on than there was last week. I have been on the road like a crazy person, and I have one more trip to go before I come back here, plant myself, and not go anywhere for a while. First, Chicago seminars. Goodness gracious, it's going to be August next week. That means my birthday, number one. But number two, that means the Chicago seminars are going to be here just around the corner. Tony's going to put the link up to the group event. This is the largest gathering of points and miles dorks, and I say that word dork with the most love possible. For an entire weekend. Please come and join us. I'm speaking, Tony speaking. My right-hand man, Mr. Howie Rappaport, is in charge of that. 400, 500 people. We take over a hotel at Chicago O'Hare Airport for the entire weekend. You want to network. You want to hear what we have to say. It's going to be absolutely fantastic. Hey, I love everybody checking in from around the U.S. and the world. I love seeing the reach. And Tony just shared the information for Chicago Seminar. Second, Vibely. This is the app that we have exclusive to Award Travel 101. So you can, if you opt in, share your location and meet other Award Travel 101 members around the world when you're traveling. It's going to let you know when you're in the same vicinity of somebody. They have to be in Award Travel 101 for you to see them. So you know we've already vetted the profile, and the Vibely creators have then vetted it again. And you can share lounge access. You can gift upgrades. You can meet up in the hotel executive lounges, talk points and miles, meet new friends, download Vibely. Tony's going to put the links as Android and iOS. And it's really cool seeing people as I have traveled over the last month pop up. Met some folks in Hawaii, chatted to people in all the airports I've been to. I wish I had more time to meet up. I love doing that. Really great story if you missed the post from a couple days ago about the captain when I got on the boat in New York City, introduced himself and said, "Hey, are you Richard?" I said, "Yeah, I am." He said, "Man, I've been in Award Travel 101 for 3 years now. My wife and I just used points and miles for our wedding in Hawaii. Thanks a lot." And then he sailed me around down the Hudson River to the Statue of Liberty. I love those stories and meeting everybody. Sometimes it gets really old sitting behind a keyboard all day. All right, so let's get into the good stuff. Everything I'm going to cover is in one blog post on the Award Wallet blog. Tony is going to share that link. In case you miss anything, you don't want to rewatch the whole video, you go to this blog link, bookmark it now, and it's going to give you a rundown program by program of all the airlines that let you pool miles, bring miles together, transfer miles, collect miles in a single place without doing a fee. So typically people say, "Hey, I've got some United miles expiring. Can I just transfer them to my dad?" United says, "Yeah, sure you can, but it's going to be $15 per 1,000 miles, and you can pay a $35 transaction fee," which $50 to transfer 1,000 miles, absolutely not. But you know what? People do it because they don't understand that it's just crazy. You don't have to do it that way. They're not in Award Travel 101. I don't want you to do that. I'm going to start with 4 U.S. airlines that let you do this for free. Any questions, put them in the comments. Tony's going to make sure that she catches them. I'm going to mess with my microphone here real sec and see if it's better after I do that. Maybe that'll help out. First, not going to spend too much time on it because nobody is paying attention to this, and I don't think it holds any value. Sun Country Airlines, the low fare discount carrier out of Minneapolis, St. Paul, airport code MSP, I believe, allows you to pool miles. Great. If you fly them a lot, cool, go for it. But I don't see any value in that program so far. Don't see any value out of their co-branded cards, so I'm not going to spend any time covering that. If you've got something different I don't know about, please put it in the comments so that I can research it. Okay. Let's talk about first Hawaiian Airlines. Why do you care about Hawaiian Airlines? I'm going to tell you right now. 20,000 miles one way from anywhere they fly in the continental U.S. to Hawaii. That's it. 40,000 miles round trip. Their new credit card can give you up to 60,000 miles. Actually, I've got a little paper application. Yeah, these still exist. That's 60,000 Hawaiian airline miles for signing up. I got this on the plane. Typically, the public offer is 50,000. But that's right, David, throwing shade on Sun Country. I tell it like it is. Sorry about that. 60,000 Hawaii miles for signing up. That's 3 one-way flights to Hawaii. What's even better is if you're a credit card holder, you can pool miles for free with anybody else can send you their miles, and then if your spouse gets the card and their own 60,000 miles, you can share miles together. That makes it really easy for topping off an award, or if just one of you is going to fly to Hawaii. Some really great redemptions. Actually, I just looked at the Hawaiian chart to remind myself. Here's the secret about Hawaiian Airlines that not enough people are talking about, right? Tahiti. Everybody wants to go to Tahiti. Hawaiian Airlines flies from Honolulu to Tahiti every Saturday, and there's always award availability on that. It's 47,500 miles in business at the saver level. It's 20,000 miles in economy. Really easy way on almost any given Saturday to get to Tahiti is to make a stop in Honolulu. Oh darn, you got to make a stop over in Honolulu, Hawaii. See another island. Grab a 25-minute flight over to Kauai like I just did 2 weeks ago. Grand Hyatt Kauai, St. Regis, Princeville. All kinds of great stuff, and then hop on that Hawaiian flight for 20,000 miles down to Tahiti, and then voila, you're there, and nobody's talking about that method. So Hawaiian Miles, pool these miles, make it happen. It's free. If you say, hey, I'm never going to fly Hawaiian, I don't like them, well, guess what? 60,000 miles with this new card application, that's 90,000 Hilton points. So you can transfer Hawaiian Miles for free to your Hilton account at 1 to 1.5. 1 mile equals 1.5 points. You sign up. You get 90,000 miles. My wife Emily signs up. She gets 90,000 miles. We can pool these for free. You can also pool Hilton miles for free. And that's 180,000 Hilton points off of 2 card applications. And I believe it's now an $89 annual fee. If I'll look right here. Yep. $89 annual fee. So that's Hawaiian. Free pooling. Next, Frontier. Got a little article I'm going to pull up in Frontier that I just wrote, which can remind me everything about all the changes they just had. So I spent some time out in Denver, and I feel like I'm talking fast, but dadgummit, there's too much knowledge to share tonight. Spent some time out in Denver at the Frontier headquarters. They just overhauled their program and their co-branded card. One of the things they introduced for card members is family pooling. So if you are a card member, you can pool all of your Frontier miles, and don't laugh because Frontier miles actually have value, and I'm going to talk a little bit more about this. You can pull them for free. The cool thing is they don't actually be your family member. They can be any 8 of your friends. You just can't switch pools all the time. It's got to be 90 days in between switching. So if 7 of my friends are flying down to Orlando with me, they don't care about Frontier miles. They're never going to fly them again. I'm going to make them all in my pool. We're going to pool the miles together. What's cool about this Frontier card? You can spin your way all the way to top tier status. Again, you say, Richard, Frontier top tier status. I don't get it. I don't care. Here's everything that you're going to get if you get this Frontier card, $100,000 and spend on it, which is going to be absolutely insane for most people. I know some of you can do it. If you book the absolute cheapest, lowest Frontier fare, for me, from like here to LaGuardia for $29. If I have this card, if I have earned top tier status for $29, carry-on bag, check bag, seat selection, priority boarding, flight flexibility, I can change it for no fee, and I can get that ticket refunded 100%. Back to the original form of payment anytime I want. You put $5,000 on the card, you get a $100 certificate. That means my family of 4 could fly to New York City for $18 out of pocket. Everybody's got a carry-on, everybody's got a check bag, everybody gets a seat, you get a board first, and you can refund that at any time. If you can put up with Frontier, if you can put up with the shakiness of the operation, that is massive value. If you live in Denver, you can pretty much fly anywhere in the U.S. nonstop, and you can get all of that stuff on the cheapest fare. I don't know a better way to travel around the U.S. if you're not on a tight schedule. If you got to get somewhere for business, if you got to get to a cruise, my recommendation is not going to be Frontier. You can pool all of those miles together as well with the family pooling, and that's just a significant amount of value that somehow an ultra low-cost carrier is able to provide. So while I have flown Frontier exactly one time, and I was delayed exactly 6 hours, most of that because of weather, but some of it because then the plane broke afterwards. You know what? That wasn't very fun. I've heard the stories, but I'm willing to take that risk if I can get my family to New York City for $18 with all of that, and we don't have to exactly be there for something worth looking at. I want you to remember that, okay? Moving on from Frontier, let's go to the best airline that allows family pooling, and that is JetBlue. Family pooling, 5 members, all of your miles earned go into a single pot. You can redeem for anybody out of that single pot. Makes it extremely easy, makes it very lucrative. I've got a 1-year-old and a 3-year-old. They've flown JetBlue twice now. They would each have like 800 points for each flight. They don't really care. But because their 1,600 points went into my family account, that's a really big deal, and that's actually kind of cool. JetBlue, love blue flying. Largest seat pitch in the United States is on JetBlue. The live direct TV, you got the Hi-Fi, Wi-Fi for free, gate to gate. I just love flying JetBlue. They got some problems with their Embraer E190s, but they've expedited some aircraft ordering to hopefully pick up some of the slack there. So JetBlue family pooling, absolutely fantastic. All right, let's go into some of the international carriers. And if anybody wants to know anything else about the U.S. airlines, or if you've got another program I missed somehow, please put it in the comments. I'll make sure I get back to it. All right, international carriers that allow family pooling. If you're new to Award Travel 101, typically I'm drinking bourbon. I'll introduce my bourbon and my gummy for the night, but it's just been an absolutely crazy day here in the Kerr household. We're looking at houses. We're getting close to buying a house. So no time for bourbon tonight, just knowledge. Hey, first up, international carrier, Korean. Korean works a little bit differently. It's not one single pot. It is, if I'm a member, my wife's a member, my kid's a member, and I'm just short of miles I need for a redemption, I have to use all of my miles in my account, and then they take the miles from my family pool to make up the difference. So it's not just a single pot. I hope that made sense. The other thing to remember about Korean is you have to register your family. You have to actually submit paperwork that proves Emily's my wife. Here's our marriage certificate. Here's the birth certificate for my kids. If you haven't done this, do it now, because remember, Korean is a Chase Ultimate Reward transfer partner. That means you can find availability to Asia at any given time, or you can find availability on Delta using Korean miles for really cheap to Hawaii. And you don't want to go, oh crap, I forgot to register my family. We don't have our family account set up, and I can't redeem my miles until they're registered. So do it now. Register your family with Korean SkyPass. Etihad. Etihad allows free member pooling. If you go, Richard, I don't care about Etihad miles, you're doing it wrong. Look at me. You need as many Etihad miles as possible. I've written about this so many times over on the Points Guy. I've written about it so many times in the group, so many amazing redemptions. I will credit some paid flights to Etihad. Number one, you can pool them for free, no credit card required. Number two, the amount of partners you can fly with Etihad and the very cheap amount of miles you need to fly Etihad partners using Etihad miles is amazing. You can transfer from American Express. You can transfer from Citi Thank You Points. Get it. Sign up. Link your accounts now. Best airfare flying story ever, 2014. That's right. Thomas was about 5 months old. This was the old group photo of us in Etihad first class. That was actually a paid mistake fare. They had a triple miles promo going on. We booked it for $1,000. It should have been a $10,000 ticket. Chase ended up paying the difference. We flew full fare, paid first class, Tokyo to Abu Dhabi, down to the Maldives, and return. Because we pooled the miles, I ended up with like 180,000 Etihad miles in my account from Emily and I's ticket. Absolutely lovely. Do it. Etihad, get used to that program. Pool your miles. ANA, the All Nippon Airways Japanese carrier, same with Japan Airlines. They both allow family pooling. You do have to register for a 1,000 mile fee. They do have to actually be your family. And you do have to prove that at some level, not near as much as Korean, I don't believe, if memory serves correctly. But you can have, I think, 5 people within 2 generations of you, and then you can collect and redeem miles across ANA and JAL. If you're not familiar with ANA and the JAL program, some really great sweet spots in there, specifically ANA. Transfer American Express membership rewards over to ANA. You can fly round trip to Japan for 40,000 miles. That's right, round trip for 40,000 miles. ANA serves Houston, Chicago, New York, San Francisco, and LA, and Seattle, and San Jose. So don't forget about that. Stacy says, can you pool United miles? No, you cannot. That cost money. All right, so get familiar with ANA and Japan Airlines. British Airways, they have what's called a household account. This is a little bit more complicated. You need to put a little bit more study behind this. if you're in a household account, it used to be that you could not redeem points for people outside of your household account. You can now add a friends and family list that makes it a little bit easier. There are also time restrictions about how often you can change who is in your household account to pool these Avios and redeem them. So there's plenty of articles out there, including one just yesterday, published on the Points Guy, talking about the updates to this. Just do a little bit of studying before you decide whether or not you want to do a British Airways household account. Absolutely free. You can pool your Avios. A lot going on in the Avios world right now. So just make sure you do that extra bit of research. And then finally, another program people do not talk about enough that just holds amazing redemptions. Actually, I'm going to go find this website here in a second so that Tony can share it. Lufthansa Miles and More. Now, it's also Miles and More is a program of several airlines, Swiss, Germanwings, some of those other spin-off carriers that are over there. And people just really don't talk about this program enough. What's cool, family pooling is allowed. And what's even cooler is they offer a discount for children's award tickets. So if you use Lufthansa Miles and More miles to book a ticket, you're going to save 25% on kids ages 2 to 12. Remember, lap infant under 2, you pay 10% of the adult fare. And then 2 to 12, you get a 25% discount when redeeming these miles. There is a Barclays issued Lufthansa Miles and More credit card. You can transfer from SPG, so it's not difficult to get these. And here is the website I'm going to post. Tony, will you please share that? It is only in German, and then you have to switch over to English. But the Miles and More mileage bargains, okay? If you can pull miles for free, here are some of the deals going on from the USA. So flying Lufthansa, serve all kinds of cities across the U.S. Business class to Dresden for 55,000 miles. That's pretty good. Fly economy to Hamburg for 30,000. Fly business class to Hamburg for 55,000. Fly to Frankfurt for 30,000 miles. Remember, an additional 25% off for kids after you've pooled all your miles for free. Just all kinds of great deals. There, Tony just posted at Miles and More mileage bargains. People don't talk about this, and I don't know why. If you want to get to Europe, sometimes they have it for as low. And these are round trip prices, if I'm not mistaken here on some of these. You can filter the website from the USA. Just tons of great deals. Don't forget about this program. There's a lot of good stuff that's going on right there. Okay, so those are the airline programs that I would pay attention to that allow you to pool miles for free. Can become useful if you're flying a random paid ticket on an airline that you're never going to fly again. You need to credit it somewhere, and your entire family is flying, say, SAS, which is Scandinavian Air Service. You're all going to pay to fly to Copenhagen. You're like, I'm never going to collect SAS miles. I have no way to get more, but maybe I could credit these to Miles and More, where all of our miles from our family trip would come together. I can top it off with some SPG points, get 25% off for my kids' tickets. You know, this is how these things start to make a lot of sense. And then I can get really cheap back to Europe with these mileage bargains that they have. The kinds of programs and partnerships that you need to get familiar with and think about when you're taking these paid tickets, so you know what programs are going to be most advantageous if you need to pool miles in the future. All right, that is the airline. So U.S. Hawaiian, pretty good, can serve a lot of purpose. Frontier, an incredible amount of value from an ultra low cost carrier. You need to consider it if you're in Denver, if you're in a city serviced by Frontier, can definitely make sense. Sun Country, not a fan, haven't flown them. Don't serve the route network I need. Haven't seen any value in their program, but they do allow pooling. And then JetBlue, lots of value there. If anybody saw the Mint fares today on the new Caribbean routes down to St. Lucia and down to Liberia, Costa Rica, it's like $260, which you can cover with points. If you can pull all your points for free, it makes it that much easier. A lot of value. International carriers, Korean, Etihad, ANA, Japan Airlines, British Airways, Miles, and more. All right, I'm going to do a quick scan, make sure I did not miss any programs that we need to talk about. There's some cool things out there like Egypt Air, where you can actually pool redeemable miles to get Star Alliance Gold status. Just Google Award Wallet Egypt Air and read about that. Actually pretty fascinating, but it's just going to be applicable to a small percentage of you. Virgin Atlantic, you got to have status. There's no such thing as too many Virgin Atlantic miles, but you got to have status in order to pool. And I think that about rounds out the list of programs we need to pay attention to. Yep, it sure does. All right, Tony says we got a question. Can you pool Singapore Airlines? Nope, you cannot pool Singapore airline miles for free. I'm going to wrap up here in just a second. And Tony just said let us know if you have any questions. Here's a quick recap on transferable points and the ability to pool and combine those. So what am I talking about? Chase Ultimate Rewards, Amex membership, rewards, and Citi Thank You points. You can combine or pool Chase Ultimate Rewards with any member of your household. Now, I copied and pasted the terms here just to let you know how serious they are about the abuse and what's actually required. Here's what Chase says about pooling Chase Ultimate Rewards. You can move your points, but only to another Chase card with Ultimate Rewards belonging to you or one member of your household. If we suspect you've engaged in fraudulent activity related to your credit card account or Ultimate Rewards, or that you've misused Ultimate Rewards in any way, for example, buying or selling points, moving or transferring points with or to an ineligible third party, or repeatedly opening and otherwise maintaining credit card accounts for the sole purpose of generating rewards, we will temporarily prohibit you from earning rewards using your points. If we believe you engaged in any of these acts, we'll close your credit card. You'll lose all your points, i.e. do not mess with Chase. Okay? You can combine with anybody in your household, but there are people out there who buy and sell these things, and you are risking your relationship altogether. All right? Amex, you cannot combine them in any way, shape, or form between two membership rewards accounts, but you can transfer to the loyalty programs linked of your authorized users. So Emily's an authorized user. I can transfer to her Delta Sky Miles account from my membership rewards. That's how you do that. Citi, you can combine, but you only have 90 days to use them after combining Citi Thank You points. Pretty terrible IT, really hard to track. Some people have forgotten. Please don't forget, if you're going to combine Thank You points, you only have 90 days to use them. Aline says Royal Air Maroc pooling. Don't know anything about their program. They're not partners with anybody, I don't think, besides Iberia. Would have no way to get Royal Air Maroc miles, so I'm not sure, and really curious what the advantage of collecting Royal Air Maroc miles is. You can book it with Iberia Avios. You can book it with Etihad miles. If you're flying Royal Air Maroc, credit to Etihad. Do not credit to the Royal Air Maroc program. Besides that, Tony, thanks as always for working hard in the background. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel. We are now over 1,000 subscribers, where all of these videos go to live for you to watch anytime on demand. I got a big trip coming up next week. My sister is turning a milestone birthday, and I'm taking her on an international trip, but she doesn't know where we're going. She's not going to know where we're going until we're in the airport and she gets her boarding pass. Stay tuned for all the pictures and reports from that. It's going to be a really fun week next week. A lot going on in the Kerr household. It looks like we're going to be getting a house pretty soon. And as always, a busy summer travel season. We got Marriott and SPG coming up. The merger on August 18th. We got new cars being introduced. We have cars being overhauled. It never stops here in the world of Award Travel 101. Same time, same place. Next week, Thursday nights, we should be good. I think it should work out. Thanks, Julie. Thanks, Allison. Always good to see you. David, Cleveland. I'm not taking my sister to Cleveland land. Sorry about that. LeBron left. There's no reason to go there anymore. Ooh, sick burn. See you next time.